From the Detroit Free Press, I'm Robin Chan with today's Voice Briefing. It's Friday, August 8th, 2025.
For the Detroit Free Press, I'm Kristen Shamus. New York-based Hey Jane has expanded its telehealth business to Michigan, offering abortion pills and emergency contraception, as well as birth control and virtual treatment for sexually transmitted diseases. Kiki Friedman, Hey Jane's co-founder and CEO, said the company's expansion to Michigan is part of an effort to increase access to reproductive and sexual health care, particularly in states that have protected the legality of abortion. Michigan voters passed a ballot initiative in 2022, enshrining the legal right to abortion in the state's constitution. But even with that constitutional amendment, access to abortion is growing more difficult in Michigan. That's partly due to a shortage of obstetricians and gynecologists. About 1/3 of Michigan's counties have no obstetricians or gynecologists in practice at all, and 73 of Michigan's 83 counties have no in-person abortion provider. Planned Parenthood of Michigan closed 3 clinics in the state earlier this year, including its only site in the Upper Peninsula. It also consolidated 2 Ann Arbor health centers into one. At the time, its leaders said the closures would help it remain financially sustainable amid efforts by the Trump administration to freeze federal funding for family planning. Then in July, Congress passed the sweeping One Big Beautiful Bill Act, and President Donald Trump swiftly signed the legislation into law. Among the provisions was a 1-year ban on federal Medicaid payments to any large, nonprofit health center that also provides abortions. That meant that Planned Parenthood affiliates would be unable to get Medicaid reimbursements, even for such services as cancer screenings, counseling, and testing for sexually transmitted infections. Alexis McGill Johnson, president and CEO of Planned Parenthood Action Fund, called it a backdoor abortion ban that would force the closure of as many as 200 more of its health centers. Planned Parenthood Federation of America and 2 affiliates sued in federal court, and a judge ruled last week that Medicaid funding must be restored to its health centers. White House spokesperson Harrison Fields called the judge's decision absurd, Reuters reported, and noted that the Trump administration is appealing an earlier decision in the same case. Friedman says Hey Jane is looking to fill the gaps in access to care caused by the closure of clinics and doctor shortages. It also will provide medication abortion to people traveling to Michigan from states with outright bans or heavy restrictions on abortions. To learn more, go to freep.com.
I'm Dante Bedingfield for the Detroit Free Press. Detroit Artist Market, a nearly century-old Midtown staple that ranks as the oldest continuously running nonprofit gallery in the Midwest, has reopened its doors after severe flooding forced its closure in January. On July 26th, the gallery held its grand reopening, debuting its Hot Damn exhibition featuring more than 40 local artists selected by curator Dr. Kelly Morgan, founding executive director of the Black Arts Archive. The show explores the power of materiality in contemporary Detroit art, from scorching to slick, raw to soft, inviting viewers to feel rather than merely observe.
Hey there, everybody. This is Omari Sanko for the second business beat writer for the Detroit Free Press. On this week's episode of our podcast, The Business Post, Bryce Lyman and I ranked the Eastern Conference and debated where the Pistons will land next season. Here's a quick snippet of our conversation.
I want to see what this roster looks like with a full offseason of Asar Thompson, what Ron Holland looks like with an offseason, a summer league, rookie year where he played all of those minutes, and Jaden Ivey coming back. So, I have them at 5. I think anywhere in this range is completely fair for them. And I think it's where they should be until we see. If J.I. comes back and he averages 20 a game, shooting 38% from 3, and Asar, takes a step, and Ron takes a step, and JD is the defender that he was down the stretch and in the playoffs, they are going to compete for a top 4 seed. And I hope that's what we see, but we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I mean, the Pistons are deep, I think, especially relative to recent iterations of the roster. There's not really a positional point I think they're weaker in, except maybe power forward. And I mean, we'll see if they end up adding a backup 4 at some point, but they should only get better. Kay's going to get better. Ron especially is only going to get better. And he did exactly what you want to see from him at Summer League, just dominating on both ends. J.I. is back and healthy. I mean, Duren is only going to get better. He turns, I believe, 22 this season. You can hear that full conversation in this week's episode of The Pistons Post, which is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, you can find our latest coverage on freak.com/sports.
Find more from the Detroit Free Press on freep.com. That's FREEP.com. Thank you for listening. Have a great weekend, and you'll hear more from us Monday.